Hi, I'm Shane.
And I'm Miranda, or Chicky. Join us as we undertake our biggest road trip to date, 5 months around Australia in a 4-wheel drive.
After a year of closed borders due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we were finally able to travel from New Zealand to our closest neighbour, my home country of Australia.
Each episode will take you to a different region in this diverse continent and get up close to its unique wildlife, camping in the outback and Aussie bush.
If you've ever wanted to explore Australia, then this series is for you. Join us on Global Travel Stories. In this episode, we cross into the largest state in the country, Western Australia.
We travel through the remote northern region known as the Kimberley, kayaking at Lake Argyle, exploring the hidden gorges at Questro, as well as the mysterious dome structures and chasms of the Bungle Bungles.
Heading westward, we uncover 380 million-year-old reef structures and get up close to native wildlife, including freshwater crocodiles around Windjana Gorge.
Follow our journey on Global Travel Stories. Today we are heading across the border into Western Australia. So yeah, we're going to make our journey through the Kimberley, starting with Lake Argyle, the gem of the Kimberley apparently, or the jewel of the Kimberley.
Yeah, one of them.
One of them.
So we're at the start of the boab trees. They're just sort of popping up everywhere on the highway now. So we just arrived into Western Australia. A little bit of a couple of issues with the border crossing. You know, they had to do the regular COVID checks and to make sure that we've filled out the border entry forms. They're very, very strict about COVID here in WA. So, filling out the forms, and they went through everything, checked when we entered into Northern Territory as well. So they're very, very thorough compared to other states so far. But the biggest one is the biosecurity. We did read that there were certain fruits and vegetables that you couldn't take across to WA, and we were very conscious yesterday to use up all the foods that we couldn't take across, and then take the foods that we could take across, which were the pre-packaged foods and some items that were listed. But pretty much when we got there, the guy was straightforward. Not anything fresh goes out, and he just threw it all in the bin, which is
It was so sad to see all that fresh food go in the bin. Like on their website, we did read what to bring, but apparently it was not consistent with what they told us. This was on the Western Australia government website, so I would just advise don't bring any fruit and vegetables unless they're cooked, because they will be taken off you. The only thing we got to keep was our sweet potato.
So yeah, it looks like they're doing a fair bit of backburning here, as we can see, all the flames behind us. And backburning is something that's been happening in these areas for, tens of thousands of years. The indigenous people used to backburn these areas for the fresh green grass to sprout up and to attract the animals into the areas. And the environment itself has adapted to this sort of treatment, so a lot of the trees won't actually germinate, their seeds won't germinate unless the fires have come through the area. And also as well, the main reason why they backburn is to reduce the risk of large wildfires that are caught from a lot of this, or will start from a lot of this dry, dead grass sort of rising up. So they regularly backburn these areas, and then it prevents a lot of that stuff from happening, and it also regerminates the new trees. Look at that big boab. Our first stop in Western Australia was the Lake Argyle Resort, the only place in the region with lakefront accommodation, and is a destination in itself. After settling in, we made our way down to the lake for a quick dip.
Known as the Jewel of the Kimberley, Lake Argyle is one of Australia's largest freshwater reservoirs, which is home to a very unique ecosystem. This includes 26 species of fish, thousands of birds and freshwater crocodiles, as well as populations of marsupials living on its islands, which have been completely isolated for almost 40 years.
So happy that you're even allowing me to bomb you. That's true happiness. What do you think, Tiki? A little bit of a walk. But we're heading down to the lake right now to do a little kayaking. Look at that landscape, that is just magic. So over there we have the dam that blocks off the Ord River, which creates here Lake Argyle. It's the largest man-made reservoir in all of Western Australia and the second largest man-made reservoir in all of Australia, which is kind of phenomenal. It covers an area of 1,000 square kilometers, and they actually had to flood a cattle station to create this lake. So underneath there somewhere is an old cattle station. Pretty cool. We're going to explore the lake a little, head out to this island just over here and have a little bit of a picnic. The Ord River Dam was built as an irrigation scheme for the Kimberley pastoral industry. The initial dam was completed in 1963 and the second or main dam was completed in 1972. The dam provides irrigation for 117 square kilometres of farmland, and a hydroelectric power system was installed in 1996 for renewable energy. Go for a little bit of a dip in the snorkel in Lake Argyle. It is known for its resident freshwater crocodile population. Apparently there's thousands and thousands of them, but I haven't seen any about so far, and luckily for us, they only eat little fishes, so we're not little fishes, or maybe Miranda. But...
There is an estimated population of 35,000 freshwater crocodiles in Lake Argyle. There are many small islands located in the lake that make the perfect breeding ground for freshwater crocodiles due to the lack of predators on the small islands.
What do you think? Pretty cool? The Lake Argyle Resort is known for its infinity pool with its magical views. Also, their live entertainment. We hung around at sunset to watch a live performer who had an interesting original song about a man with an extra appendage, which only became awkward when some small children began dancing to said song.
And to rise above the trials of a man with a double dong, and I'm singing, oh. Double dick Derek. It's very catchy. You want to sing it with me? We're singing, oh, double dick Derek. And singing, oh, double dick Derek. Oh, the daughters are embarrassed. And so concludes my little song about the boy with the double dong. It's double dick Derek. Thank you very much. I can't tell you how off-putting it is when there's little ones dancing to the song. Anita's in front of me. I'm dirty, I'm mean, I'm mighty clean. Shotgun underneath a hot sun, feeling like someone.
here at Kelly's Knob right now, and we're about to hike up to the lookout, get a nice view over Kununurra and also the nearby Mirrorman National Park, which we'll check out shortly.
The town of Kununurra was established in 1961 as a service centre for the Ord River irrigation scheme. Its name derives from the local Aboriginal word for meeting of big waters. The nearby Mirrorman National Park covers 2,067 hectares and contains spectacular natural rock formations. Our exploration of the area came to a halt as we ran into a bit of a problem.
So we lost the drone here in Mirrorman National Park, and I've actually climbed all the way up here to where the GPS says, but can't see anything at all at the moment, so I hope we haven't lost it. Have a look up on this rock shelf. Probably thinking, what the hell are you doing up here? Hey, Mr. Wally. Hello, sure. No drone, but spectacular here. Yeah, I'm very close to giving up the search now. I've done a little bit of climbing and scrambling and don't really want to put myself in any danger, so I have to give up on this one. That sucks. So we've found the drone. I found it in my zoom lens in my camera. It was right above where I was standing before. Taken up a hiking pole and also a water bottle. It's 40 degrees now. Freaking boiling. I'm gonna see if I can do it. So it's right behind that rock up there. Yeah, I tried to crawl across. It didn't really work. I just tried to use a big stick and that didn't really work either. I don't really want to try and risk it because it's a long way to fall. Well, there were several times I wanted to give up hope, but we finally got it. I had Miranda on loudspeaker below who had a view of it in the camera, and we devised a stick. Like, you can see how flimsy this is. This is the hiking pole on the end of a termite eaten stick, and just pulled away at it until I got it back. Holy shit. I'm not sure if it works or not. I'll have to test that out later. Here at the Ivanhoe crossing on the Ord River, just north of Kununurra. Famous crossing. It's very similar to the Cahill crossing that we saw in Kakadu, and that you've got this fast flowing water that you have to sort of cross over the creek, and the creek itself, or the river itself, is chock full of saltwater crocodiles. So you're not really supposed to get out of your car and suss things out. You're supposed to just keep rolling. It doesn't look that deep, probably you know, tire height, maybe a little bit more, but yeah, we've sort of cracked that back of our windscreen. Even though it's not going to reach in there, I don't want anything to splash up and get wet inside, and we have no need to cross because we're actually going out to Questro right now, so you can check it out, dude. Pretty cool. Leaving Kununurra, we head out into the famous Gib River Road. So we're finally on the notorious Gib River Road, notorious for its dodgy sort of beaten path, corrugations. We're not quite on that dirt part yet. Not going to do too much of that actually now that we've changed our plans. Well known for its beauty, also known for its heat. It kind of feels like I've just stuck my head into a fan-forced oven. The wind is blowing, but it's no relief. It is so hot. We're definitely over 40 degrees Celsius right now.
Our original plan was to traverse the whole Gib River Road, known as one of Australia's great outback drives. Due to the time constraints trying to get our rear windscreen repaired, we had to scrap this plan.
is very enthused and excited about our campsite here in El Questro. Look at the view. Look at our own little swimming hole right there. Located in the East Kimberley, El Questro is a cattle station that has diversified into ecotourism. 700,000 acres of the 1 million acre property has been set aside as a wilderness park famous for its incredible gorges, waterfalls, thermal springs and sandstone ranges.
The following morning, we headed out to El Questro Gorge to explore its natural beauty, which can only be reached by high-clearance four-wheel drive or wading through deep water.
I know if Miranda falls straight through, then it's too deep. We've got Dalton here.
Hey guys, how you going?
Dalton gave us a lift through the first part of the trip, which was pretty much like a high clearance four-wheel drive area. Unfortunately, our four-wheel drive doesn't have that sort of clearance, so he was nice enough to give us a lift in. And yeah, if we meet up with him later on or stick around together, might buy him a beer at happy hour.
Ooh,
for his efforts. It's a pretty cool story. I have to look down, otherwise I'll fall. This is the epic gorge. We're at the midway pool, and the next part of the journey will take us through here and up over there, with all our bags of course. But for now, time to cool off. Oh, it's not too bad. It's alright. After reaching the halfway pool inside the gorge, the only option to continue the trail was through the pool itself.
After some serious rock scrambling, we finally reached the end of the trail at the pristine and inviting Macmicking Pool.
Get down with the ship. There you go, educational geography time with Dalton. The mountains, valleys and gorges of El Questro are the product of volcanic activity, the build-up of sediment and millions of years of erosion.
If it's hot, it doesn't really matter if you're wearing shoes and clothes.
After returning back to camp and having a cold beer, we decided to head somewhere special for sunset. Alright, so about to go up to Branko's Lookout with Dalton here driving. Cheeky's in the back there. It's supposed to be quite a difficult river crossing. Let's check it out. This is what driving in the Kimberley is all about. Nice, that's a beautiful road. This is our local wildlife here, Kimberley.
Overlooking the Chamberlain River below, we spotted a saltwater crocodile resting on the bank.
Moving now. Mouth back open. So we're heading into Zebedee Springs for the morning. Kind of seems a little bit sort of counterintuitive to go into some hot springs early in the morning, but Dalton, who was with us yesterday, told us that they're not so hot. So just gonna have a little quick dip, and then we'll head out to Emma Gorge. So fun fact, these types of palm trees are called Livingstone palm trees. And they've been here in this region for thousands of years, living off the spring water. Absolutely stunning. 18 meters tall. This is really cool. It's like a little oasis. Chicky's found our little love pool. Oh, that's a nice one, Chicky. Think I can jump from here? Nope. So I found our little spot here at Zebedee Springs and just chill for a very short amount of time. A little bit warm. What do you think, Chicky?
It's pretty warm. It's beautiful though.
It's very beautiful. So we're heading out now to the famous Emma Gorge, still part of the El Questro Park. We've got Dalton with us once again.
Hey guys.
Hey. Yeah, so basically we're going to explore this gorge and go for a nice bit of a swim before Miranda and I head down to the Bungle Bungles, which will take us 4.5 hours drive from here. So it's going to be a pretty full-on day. Should be getting there, hopefully, by sunset. So we got ourselves a black bream or a grunter right down here, and apparently this little pool here has freshwater crocodile somewhere inside. I'm guessing that's what he feeds on.
Upon arrival to the pool, we spotted a freshwater crocodile. These species are non-threatening to humans, and Miranda was eager to test that theory.
Scared off the freshie. I don't think you can see him in here. He's only a little one. Oh, there's two. The big one. That's the baby. Wait till the mama comes.
boab water, fresh boab water. How is it?
After saying goodbye to Dalton, it was time to hit the road and make the 4.5-hour journey to the Wolardi campground in Purnululu National Park. Shannon's just let down the tire pressure and we are heading on the road to Purnululu National Park, where we'll be seeing the Bungle Bungles, which are really cool geological dome structures. Almost look like a bunch of beehives. But yeah, so we're heading on a 4-wheel drive dirt track right now for the next about 65 kilometers. Will take us 1.5 to 2 hours depending on the condition of the road. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
With rough driving conditions, we arrived at our campground just after dark. So we're at the Bungle Bungles, which are kind of like the lost city of beehives almost. We're in Purnululu National Park. It's part of the East Kimberley here in Western Australia. Beautiful, spectacular region. Beautiful morning as well. We got up this morning and it was nice and cool. Anything under 30 degrees in the morning has been good so far. We planned to sleep in a little bit longer, but we were woken up by about 100 screaming corellas, so we didn't really get much of a sleep in, but hey, maybe it was meant to be. Maybe we were meant to come out here when it was nice and fresh.
The Bungle Bungles were unknown to the public until the early 1980s, when a film crew were in the region and were told rumors by local stockmen about an area of significant beauty nearby. It wasn't until they flew over by helicopter that they realized what they had just stumbled upon.
Awesome. So beautiful. We're in Cathedral Gorge right now, which runs from a northwest facing fracture split into the sandstone. And this circular sort of amphitheatre that we have right here was eroded away from waterfalls, as you can see down there, into the plunge pool below. So in the wet season, this would be a spectacular sight, I'd imagine. Just cascading waterfalls through this area. Now walking along Pickaninny Creek. In the wet season, Pickaninny Creek is a torrential river that runs right through here, and that's between November and April. We're actually heading up to the lookout right now to get some awesome views and just trekking along this dry riverbed, I suppose.
Behind me here you see some of the dome-like structures of the Bungle Bungles, which was formed due to the erosion of 360 million year old sandstone. The orange bands you see are composed of iron oxide, whereas the darker bands you see are due to cyanobacteria.
Gonna give this pronunciation a go. We're heading to the Kungalanai
Maybe.
Kunkalai. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to pronounce this. Anyway, we're heading to a really nice lookout. Supposed to be the best lookout in the national park for sunset, so we're going to check that out in just a moment. It would be great to take a drone up here right now, but unfortunately we can't take drones in this national park because of the low flying helicopters, which is a massive shame. You know, such beautiful like dome structures. It would be awesome to see from above. Hence why they charge such extortionate prices for helicopter rides, which we're not paying. So you can check a different channel for that. This is already stunning.
So we are now at the northern end of Purnululu National Park. A bit different from what we've seen yesterday. Not so much dome-like structures.
Whereas here up on the northern end, we have these sort of deep gorges and chasms. Today we'll be exploring Echidna Chasm. But first we're going out to a little place called Osmond Lookout to get a little bit of an intake of the area. So the range here in Purnululu, as mentioned yesterday, is 360 million years old. But 1880 million years old is the Osmond Range over there, and even further down we've got ranges that are 1.6 billion years old. So we have some really ancient landscapes through here, and these areas here formed corridors for the Aboriginal people of the area to sort of travel through during the dry season, and there's a whole bunch of natural springs and waterholes through here. Unfortunately, in the last couple of hundred years, there has been grazing brought in by European farmers, which has destroyed a lot of the natural ecosystem. But now that the grazing has stopped, things are starting to change, and we're hoping sooner or later things will start to return to their former way. It's so hot outside, and now just in here under these Livingstone palms inside the gorge, the temperature is just absolutely amazing. It's beautiful. Signs of rock falling. You think, what are the odds? But walking in here, we heard two large boulders just smashing the ground. So kind of keeping an eye above, seeing if there's any loose boulders around. Kind of scary. No turning back now, chickie. We're in it. Oh, this is cool. Seems to be getting narrower and narrower. I don't think we're going any further. The way is definitely shut. It's pretty cool though. So we're about to do our second walk for the morning, and our last walk in Purnululu National Park. It's called the Mini Palms. We've got this forest here in the gorge of blue gum eucalypt trees. And the eucalypt trees have this amazing ability to suck up and retain water after the wet season and for the dry season. You can see the creek bed right here. Pretty amazing that they do that, and there are so many of them around. See all the ancient river stones embedded in the sandstone. It's crazy when people think of Honolulu National Park or the Bungle Bungles, they think of those dome structures that we explored yesterday. But, you know, in my opinion, the 2 walks we did today were by far more, you know, just epic in grandeur and just amazing. And a lot of people don't even realize how awesome this is down here. So in hindsight, I think Honolulu National Park, although the Bungle Bungles and the domes are great, I would say that there is so much to explore here. Aside from that as well, so it's all just such an amazing place. Definitely worth putting on the list. So we're at the Ngumban Cliffs, which is midway between Halls Creek and Fitzroy Crossing. Beautiful free camping spot with these absolutely spectacular cliffs in the background there. You know, toilets, facilities, everything. This is all you could really ask for out here. Here's Chicky making, or prepping dinner. I'm about to make it. At the perfect spot for the campfire. And the fading sunset. Look at those colours out there. That's Australia.
Today. First stop along the way is Geeky Gorge, just outside of Fitzroy Crossing. Then we are heading to Tunnel Creek, which was originally closed, but we've heard from a few people that they were able to go in. So we'll have a look at that and then head to Windjana Gorge and camp overnight.
We're down here at Geeky Gorge, which sits on the Fitzroy River, just outside of Fitzroy Crossing in WA. This area here was known as Dangu to the local Bunubba people. They inhabited this area for about 30 to 40,000 years. Now, this area was a special ceremonial area for them. The rocks that we see behind me here are actually very, very old. They go back between 350 to 410 million years ago, part of an old ancient reef system when this part of Australia was completely under the sea. And it's an old limestone reef system during the Denovian period, and this was the time when fish first started to appear in the world's oceans. So you can actually find a lot of fossils inside some of these limestone reef rocks that we have up here. It's absolutely stunning. And apparently this area is really, really well known for wildlife. So I'm gonna keep an eye out and see what we can find. Between May and October, Parks and Wildlife offer riverboat cruises through Dangu Geeky Gorge twice daily. Unfortunately, we didn't research this prior, otherwise we would have taken the opportunity to explore by boat as well.
The grey limestone rock shows millions of years of weathering and coloration due to oxidization and leaching of mineral sands.
From the gorge, we made our way north to Tunnel Creek via a rugged outback road. About to hike up to Tunnel Creek, and Tunnel Creek is part of this range here known as the Napier Range, and it's made from limestone coral reef. It goes back 360 million years back in the Denovian times. The tunnel itself has been eroded away through a water course. It's 750 meters long. Apparently there are freshwater crocodiles in there, so we'll find out when we go in. It has been closed quite recently due to collapses and things like that, but we have been told that it is reopened, so we'll go up and check it out ourselves and see. So we're making our way up to the tunnel now, armed with flashlights, headlamps. Tunnel Creek was actually the hideout or location of a folkloric legend. His name was Jundamura. He was one of the Dunama people who was like a resistance freedom fighter. And he had attacked a couple of stockmen in the area, and he was wanted for his crimes, and him and his men actually hid out here in Tunnel Creek for 3 years. They evaded the law.
There's a frog. It's a bit hard to see, but you hear the bats. Or the crocs, that's the thing. It's the moment Chicky's been waiting for. Alright, Chicky, ready to get into the croc-infested waters? Oh, it's cold. I see. I see your reflective eye before, but now it's gone. Great. It's lurking in the deep. So this here is a freshwater shrimp. Good eating. As if that isn't the scariest looking boab you've ever seen. So yeah, we had a little bit of a wander through Tunnel Creek. We weren't too sure how far to go. It kind of felt a little bit like the Blair Witch Project, you know, just like lurking around in the dark with our torches. We did see the reflection of an eye, and I zoomed in on my camera, and before I could take a shot I could see that there was a little freshie there, and then he dipped his head under the water, but we didn't really get that close to him, unfortunately. We didn't go right through. There was sort of like an attention thing there saying deeper water, and we didn't actually realize how deep it was going to be. We kind of went past our knees, and then it was like, all right, we've got all this stuff that's not really waterproof, so don't really want to take it for a swim. Also as well, we still aren't even certain whether or not the trail is open. You know, there's all these sort of signs that sort of hint towards maybe it's not, like, for example, like this, like broken tape that says danger. There was a knocked over sign that said trail closed. Even on the front gate right here, actually, this one's funny. You can tell someone's clipped that, and it says track closed, and that's just so there. So maybe it is actually closed. The danger is due to rockfall, I'd heard, so I don't think it's actually officially open right now. When we walked in, there were other people walking out, so we just sort of assumed it was okay, but hard to tell. We didn't go far enough to really find out. Yeah, so at least we got to see a bit of Tunnel Creek and learn a little bit about the history of Tunnel Creek. We're at Wingana Gorge right now. We've been at the campground for a couple of hours and just chilled out while it was stinking hot in the campground. But now that the sun is starting to go down, it's starting to cool a little. We're going to do a little walk into the gorge, and then potentially tomorrow do a walk through the gorge. A bit of a longer one. So.
On our way into the gorge, we spotted an endangered black-footed rock wallaby near the entrance.
Once widely distributed throughout Central Australia, their numbers have dwindled in recent years due to invasive predatory species such as foxes and feral cats.
This is what Miranda was swimming with yesterday. The day before yesterday, I should say. 2 days ago, Miranda was swimming with one of these. There's actually a lot of them here. So this place would be absolute paradise if it wasn't full of crocodiles.
As the sun began to set, flocks of gorillas began to make their way into the gorge to roost for the night. Their signature sound could be heard clearly from our campsite.
There you go, this was spectacular. You can already hear behind me that cacophony of the gorillas just sort of swooping down, and I'm guessing this is where they rest for the night. What are we doing this morning, Chicky?
We're going to walk into the gorge and see if we can see some freshies.
Yeah, the freshies like to sort of bathe on the riverbanks in the morning, the lake banks. It's like a pool, I suppose. But yeah, they don't usually jump into the water during the day, so we wanted to sort of catch them while they're all out in the open and see if we can get some shots.
The crocs baking in the sun. We kind of were a little lazy this morning. We really needed a little bit of a sleep in after several really early mornings. Not going to be a complete waste of time though. We might go for a little bit of a walk through the gorge just to check it out.
After exploring the gorge, we made our way out to Broome on the west coast via Derby, where we will pick up in our next episode.
Coming up in the next episode,
We arrive at the town of Broome on the west coast of Australia and check out its amazing beaches. Followed by the unmissable camel ride on Cable Beach at sunset.
we head south to Karijini National Park in the Pilbara region. After an encounter with one of the world's deadliest snakes, we explore the narrow canyons and hidden waterholes in this remote and unique part of the country.
We finish up with an epic hike to appreciate this spectacular place from above.
Join us on Global Travel Stories. At Global Travel Stories, we want to hear what you'd like to see more of. Please leave a comment below and remember to like and subscribe for our big adventures coming soon.